Immigration, basic economics. Quote, when only 2% of immigrants from Japan to the United States go on welfare, while 46% of the immigrants from Laos do, there is no single pattern that applies to all immigrants. Everything depends on which immigrants you're talking about and which periods of history. Okay, here's the assignment. The period is today, and the immigrants we're talking about are the roughly 11 million, that seems to be the best estimate, roughly the 11 million who are in this country illegally, overwhelmingly from Mexico. President Obama has issued an executive order protecting about 5 million of them from deportation and other legal penalties. A humane act.
Well, see, one of the things about the immigration debate is they talk about immigrants in the abstract, and there are no immigrants in the abstract, as that passage indicates. And we don't know who those people are that are here. They may all be PhDs from the University of Chicago, in which case they should all stay. Or they may in fact be people who majored in sociology at Berkeley, in which cases get them all out of here as soon as possible. You know, but we don't know. That's one of the problems of so-called immigration policy. We don't have an immigration policy unless we control the border. It doesn't matter what our policy is. If anybody who wants to cross the border can cross, then our policy is just a bunch of words on paper.
Okay, so I think I hear you. I think I can deduce from that set of comments two policies. One is, for sure, you get control of the border.
Yes.
That's just obvious. We get control of the border. But from that point forward, you're as dubious about the editorial position of the Wall Street Journal, which is consistently pro-immigrant, as you are dubious of the President of the United States, because your point is neither one of them really knows in enough detail who these 11 million people are, whether they're doing net good or harm to the economy. So you don't buy the Wall Street Journal argument that on net, surely they're doing more good than harm, more economic good than harm. You don't buy that?
No. And especially when they're trying to talk about having people in agriculture. I mean, this is a country that has had a chronic surplus of agricultural output for decades on end, costing the taxpayers billions upon billions of dollars.
But because the federal government subsidizes the output, the surplus, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, yes. And in fact, I think the federal government subsidizes the water that creates the surplus that it then subsidizes again. And I think that any discussion of people in the abstract drives me crazy, because there are no abstract people. 100 years ago, people understood that. And so when there was a debate about immigration, there was a multi-volume set of tomes about the characteristics of the immigrants from various countries. How do their kids do in school?
They had the guts to be picky.
Yes.
They said, we'll take some.
Yes.
But they better do us good.
Yes.
Okay. So what kind of debate would you like to... Congress, as I mentioned a moment ago, has just fallen to the control of Republicans, both houses. Republicans aren't going to be able to move much legislation because the president can still veto it. What kind of debate should they have? What kind of hearing should they hold on immigration?
They should find out what kind of people, how are the people that we know about now, how are their kids doing in school? What is their crime rate? What is their disease rate? All those things, that matters. You know, they brought out all these kids, and I said, these are just kids. Well, you know, kids do grow up, and they have other kids. We don't know. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. We don't have a clue.